Hello dear creative fellows, and welcome to this vlog. Over the past few weeks I have produced 3 short videos, a cinematic trilogy titled The Image of the Path. These 3 films form a unified whole. In this video I reflect on the central theme of the trilogy, the connection between travel and creativity, as well as the search for identity and self-discovery. At the same time, this vlog marks a new beginning. Until now, I have remained behind the camera, sharing my thoughts as a voiceover, without being seen myself. Now I want to take on something new, stepping in front of the camera, a challenge, not only because of my lack of experience, but also because I am doing it in a foreign language. But I accept the challenge and take the leap. It all began with travel, the foundation of everything in my life. Its journey broadened my vision, expanded my perspective, deepened my understanding, and shaped the way I see the world. Travel became an existential quest for freedom, creative expression, and insight. Being on the move has defined my path and shaped who I am today. It began with childhood family trips to the Greek islands, continued with my youth as a commercial skipper navigating the North Sea and the Mediterranean, and later involved into wandering through modern cityscapes and cultural remnants as a flâneur. These experiences taught me not only the art of navigation, but also the art of life itself. Now, back to my trilogy. The 3 episodes of this trilogy explore how both geographical and metaphorical journeys influence our thinking, creativity, and perception. They follow a web of profound questions and attempt to sketch possible answers. How do journeys shape our identity? Every journey is not just a movement through physical space, but also a metaphorical journey inward. It leaves traces that shape us, transform our perspective, and redefine who we are. How do images emerge, both in our minds and in their tangible manifestations, as representations, drawings, animations, films within our cultures? This complex question is at the core of my next cinematic series, The Origins of Images. How does direct perception and the experience of spaces influence the production and generation of images? Spaces are not just neutral structures, but also mental landscapes that inspire imagination and creativity. How do geographical trajectories transform into personal narratives and collective myths? What role do places play as the settings of myths and stories, and how do they shape our understanding of history and identity? Each episode of this trilogy is an experiment, an attempt not only to document but to become an active part of the creative process, to experience it, reflect on it cinematically, and bring it to life. Here is a brief summary of the 3 episodes. the first episode, The Unfolding Path. This is where it all begins. A scorched landscape on the Greek island of Rhodes becomes a metaphor for new beginnings, for the moment when a path starts to unfold. It is about immersing oneself in unknown spaces and letting go of old ideas to embrace transformation. The second episode, The Palimpsest of Time. Gdansk, Danzig, is a place where history and the present override each other. The old shipyard as a palimpsest, a layered composition of time and memory. This episode explores how past and future are intertwined and how our creative process always builds upon pre-existing traces. The third episode, Brunnsberg, Dead Ends and Turning Points. Here, in the forest of Brunnsberg in Sweden, we encounter the woodland paths, those trails that lead into the unknown. This episode examines the turning points of the creative process, the moments of uncertainty that often lead to true breakthroughs. This trilogy was just the beginning. My larger project for this year, The Origins of Images, is driven by a fundamental question. Where do images come from, not just in a technical sense, but through the lens of art history, culture, and beyond that, within our consciousness shaped by memory, perception, and imagination? Every journey, every place, every gaze contributes to this process. With the image of the path, I have taken the first step in exploring these connections. A brief reflection on loss and nostalgia as triggers for travel and driving forces behind creativity. Every journey begins with a sense of loss, something left behind, a moment that won't return, an image that slips from reach. In my creative path, loss is not a passive void, but an active force, shaping what I seek and what I create. Loss, absence, and the incompleteness are not mere limitations, they are generative. Creativity does not emerge from abundance, but from the necessity of filling gaps, of reaching for something just beyond grasp. The abandoned, the vanished, the forgotten, each leaves traces that demand to be reimagined. Nostalgia, in its deepest sense, is not simply longing for the past, but the unsettling feeling of something both familiar and strange, intimate yet elusive. It is the presence of an absence that cannot be named, a haunting that compels us to create. This aesthetic of absence runs through my work. Images emerge from what is missing. Fragments are not imperfections, but the truest form of expression. In incompleteness lies the potential to open new spaces, to pose questions rather than offer answers. Perhaps this is the essence of the via negativa of creativity, not building from what is given, but carving new paths from what is absent.